Welcome to No Nonsense Airbnb. VRBO has done lots of changes on their platform. Some are good, some are bad. So I thought of creating a new video to show you exactly how you can list your property on VRBO. So without further ado, let me just get started. And before that, very briefly, I would just like to mention there are lots of things VRBO is going to throw at you. But don't be distracted. Just follow the steps I'm going to show you and create your listing, and then you can spend your time looking at the other things VRBO is going to give us in the dashboard. So to get started, just open vrbo.com on your computer and click on this list your property option here at the top, and then choose the number of bedrooms and bathrooms you have at your property. You can always change these things later on if there is a need to. You can always change these things later on. Just keep going with the basic information you can fill in at the moment. And on the following page, just enter the address of your property. It will briefly show the location of the property. If it appears on the map, fine. You can always drag this map, or you can just drag this icon to wherever you want it to be. And once you're happy with it, click on next. And then it will ask you to enter your name, phone number, email address, and all that. So I will skip all this information for privacy reasons. And after that, it will take you to a screen like this. At the same time, it will send an email to you, which you need to open and click on this link here in that email. That is just to validate you have entered your email correctly. Just click on that link and it will take you to the screen like this. Your account is confirmed, and now you can go back to the previous window and carry on and click on next. And on this screen, click on next again. Now it is asking you to choose the amenities for your property. Again, don't worry about it too much. We will review all these things later on, but as much as you can fill in, it will save you some effort later on. And just choose all the options that are available in your property and click on next. And on the following screen, choose this property type option, whether it is a house, a bungalow, or a flat. In my case, it is just a house, so I will scroll down and choose house option, and then you will add the bedroom details. So click on add details, and on the right hand side you can change the room name if you like, and you can enter the type of bed that room has. In my case, I have all queen beds, and I will click on this bed sheets provided. If there are multiple beds, you can just click on this plus icon to add more beds to that room. The same way, I will just quickly go through the rest of the rooms because I have 4 bedrooms, all with queen beds. So let me just quickly go through all of this. Now I have added all the details for my 4 bedrooms, and now I'm going to enter the details for the bathrooms. So click on add details for the bathroom, just exactly the same way. And here you can choose whether it has a bathtub or a shower and things like that. So let me just quickly go through all 3 bathrooms. And as I was going through these details, I forgot to highlight one thing. When you click on a bathroom, the second option here is the bathroom type. Here you can choose a full bathroom, or if it is just a powder room or a toilet, you can choose half option. In my case, I have 3 full bathrooms and 1 half. So I will add another bathroom and mark it as half. Now after adding the details for the 3 bathrooms, I want to add another half bathroom. So I will click on add bedroom or bathroom. I will click on bathroom, click on next, and mark it as half here. And that just has a toilet, and a soap and towels are provided as well, and I will click on save. And after that, when you scroll down, if you have any additional spaces for sleeping, like a futon or a sleeping sofa in the living room, you can add it here. Bed location, you will say living room or office, and then you will choose the bed type. In my case, it doesn't apply, so I will just click on next at the bottom. And now it is prompting me to add the photos of my property, so I will click on add photos and point it to the folder where I have all the photos on my computer, and select them all and click on open. Now it is uploading the photos. Bare minimum, it requires you to add at least 6 photos at this point. Again, you can change all of this later on in the steps, so don't bother about it too much. Just add as many photos as you can and move on to the following step. Once this is all done, you scroll down to the bottom and click on next. And now it is asking me to enter a headline, which is going to be the title of my property. I'll write a title and click on next. And now it is the description time, so I will type in my description and then click on next. And then it takes you to house rules section. This is where you can mention the maximum number of guests your property can have, and whether do you allow events or not, whether you allow pets or not, do you allow children, and what age do you allow the children for. I will choose all these 3 options, and then is smoking allowed. All these platforms, I don't understand why they don't make it clear. Smoking in my case is allowed as long as they go outside in the garden and clean up after that. I don't understand why they can't have one option here saying smoking allowed outside. Someone has to be out of their mind nowadays to be smoking indoors. So for that reason, I don't want to send a wrong signal. I will choose no smoking is not allowed, just because the platform doesn't allow me to give that clarity. I will click on next after that. And then it is going to ask you for your bank details. In my case, it is Canada. So I will choose that. And then what do you want to charge per night? Because I'm going to use a dynamic pricing software, so the price I set here doesn't really matter. So for the sake of it, I will just enter 500 Canadian dollars. And then it prompts me whether I want to enable rate automation, which is kind of smart pricing Airbnb offers. I will keep this off, but if you are not planning to use a dynamic pricing software, keep it on. It is better than having nothing at all. So I will just keep it off in my case and click on next. And then it prompts you whether you want to offer a 20% new listing promotion, which is going to be offered to only first 3 bookings in the next 90 days. And if you want to offer a 10% last minute promotion, all you need to do is just click on this opt-in button, and on the right hand side menu, click on this yes opt-in again. I will skip these options because my prices are going to be set by the dynamic pricing software, so I don't have to worry about these things. And I will leave a link to my dynamic pricing software, which I use for all my properties. If in case you want to try that, have a look at the link in the description. And I will click on next now. And now it is asking me to enter a cleaning fee for the property. So I will enter $320, which is my cleaning fee for this house. And if you want to charge it per stay or per night, in my case, it is per stay. And if you're going to allow pets, this is where you can mention the pet fee and click on this I agree to the VRBO accommodation fee collection agreement. Click on next. And on the following page, you can choose your check-in and checkout time. My check-in is after 3 o'clock and checkout is at 11. Maximum number of stay is 2. How many days before check-in will you accept bookings? So VRBO, in case you don't know, doesn't allow same-day bookings. So the least you can choose is 1. And then how many months before check-in will you accept bookings? I always keep mine to 9 months. And then click on next. And now it is asking whether you want to open your calendar fully when it goes live, or do you want to block your calendar by default, and then you can simply go in and open the dates which you want to host. The second option, this blocked calendar option, is really great for people who are just going to host part-time. If you don't want to open your property full-time, it is great. You can just choose this option, and when your property goes live, your calendar will be blocked, and then you can specifically open few dates when you want someone to rent the property, and by default all other dates will stay blocked. In my case, it is going to be a full-time short-term let property, so I will choose open calendar and click on next. And now it has opened up the calendar. This is where it is asking me, this is my last chance, whether I want to open or close some dates, because I chose open calendar option in the previous screen. So now it is giving me an opportunity. I can go in 9 months in advance and block any dates if I want to. In my case, I don't want to do all that because I will be using a channel manager software, which is going to link my calendar with other platforms. So I will just click on next in this case. And now it is asking me to verify the phone number I have entered and how I would like to receive a security code. I will choose my phone number and I will choose text option and I will click on send code. I've entered the code which I received. I will click on verify and click on next now. And now it is asking whether I'm a professional host with a company and a business setup, or I'm just an individual. In my case, I will choose I'm just an individual. And down below it is asking whether I have a different billing address. In my case, I will just choose same as the address of the listing. And it is asking what is your legal name. So I will enter the legal name here and then click on next. And now it is once again asking me to confirm all the information I have provided is correct and what kind of property it is. In my case, it is a residence. And do you have any registration number? So I do have a registration number because in this part of Canada, we are required to have a registration number for the short-term let. I will enter the registration number here and click on next. And then it is a quick note about taxes. We are collecting and remitting lodging taxes for this place, blah, blah, blah. If you're happy with that, click on next. And this is the final step where it is asking me to review everything. Don't worry, it is not going to go live straight away. Just go through all the key details, like location is a pain to change once it is published. So make sure The address of the property is absolutely correct. All the other details you can change later on, but still it is a good idea to just go through everything here, and once you're happy, click on next. And on the following screen it says you're ready to go live. I will just click on go live. Don't worry, it is still going to go through their quality checks, so even if you click go live here, it is not like it is going to be available straight away, because what we are going to do after this, once we press this go live button, is go back into the settings, and I will show you a lot more settings which you need to set for your property, like cancellation policy, damage deposit, and all those things. So I will just click on go live here and then click on go to dashboard, and it is prompting me to take a tour, which I will close. And now this is your hosting dashboard. Get familiar with this. This is where it will land you every time you come back in here to do something on your listing, respond to messages and things like that. Now by default, it is prompting me to add my bank details. So you can just click here and add bank details, but I won't do this here because this option is only there for the first time. I will show you a proper way which you will always find in that location whenever you want to change or add your bank details. So just follow me through the process as I walk through the listing setup, and I guarantee you won't miss any step. So first thing we're going to do is click on property option here. Don't be distracted by all these options. You can do that in your spare time, but at the moment we are just focusing on setting up a proper listing. So for that, all you need to do is click on property and then click on edit property option. Now this is where all the details which we have entered so far are available again. And now you can go into all of these sections one by one and make sure they are good and as you want them. I will just quickly go through all of these settings without saying much. Your story, if you want to add a story about you, who you are, why you're hosting and things like that. This is where you can enter your photo. This is where you can add a photo of yourself, and your property option is where you can choose a house and what is the size of the property and things like that. And lastly, how you host. So let me just quickly go through these settings. So let me go through all these options, and I won't be able to share these details I enter here for privacy reasons. And once you've done all that, click on back, and then you will go into the next section on the same page, which was the photos option. It will take you to the photo gallery. This is where you can do all the changes to your photos. So on the first tab, which is the upload photos, if you want to add more photos, you can add them. Or if you want to delete photos, you can simply click on this delete option and it will delete that photo. And the second tab here is assign photos. It will show all the spaces in your property, and you can simply go in and individually click on choose existing photos and assign the photos to the individual spaces in your property. And lastly, the edit photos. This is where you can change the order of the photos, like which photo you want to appear as your profile photo. You can simply choose that photo and drag it to the first one, and the same way you can drag the following photos, and it will keep changing. It is pretty simple when it comes to changing the photo order. And once you're happy with all that, click on back and then go into amenities section. This is where you will go into all these sections and add the details of the amenities you have in your property. So make sure you go through these amenities very carefully and mark everything which your property has. The more you can tick here, the better it is. So I won't bore you with me checking amenities on this page. So I will just quickly go in and check all the amenities, and I will take you to the next step after that. And once you're done, click on back here. And then the next option is the internet. This is where you can mention whether your property has an internet, when it has a Wi-Fi, and it is free, and it is high speed. You can mention the speed of the internet you have. In my case, I will just mention 100 Mbps. If you have a fax or a telephone, this is where you can mention it. And once you've done all that, click on back, and we will go in the next section, which is the climate control. This is where you can choose whether you have air conditioning in the property, what kind of air conditioning it is. This is where you can mention it is a central air conditioning. Click on add, and then you can choose whether you have heating, and it is central heating again. I will click on add, and if you have a fireplace, you can tick that box and click on save. Once you're done, click on back, and then we will go into the parking option. Do you have any on-site parking? I will say yes, I have parking space for 6 vehicles in the driveway. Click on add. Do you have any EV charger or a garage? You can click on that and save. And now we will go back into the next section, which is kitchen and dining. Here you will mark all the appliances and utensils you have in the kitchen. So I will click, does your property have a kitchen? Yes. And then it is a full kitchen. So I will quickly go through the list here. And once you're done with that, click on save here, scroll up and click on back again. And next we will go into entertainment. And this is where you can mention whether you have a TV and it is a smart TV, and you can add all the other details by clicking here, and I will enter 55-inch 4K Samsung and then click on add. And I will quickly go through the rest of the list, whether I have books, DVD player, etc., etc. Once you're happy with it, click on save and then go back to the previous screen again. Next is accessibility. This is where you can mark all the things which you think your property is accessible. In my case, the only option here is yes, steps are required. There are 10 steps to enter the property. And if the flooring type is known, in my case, it is hardwood floors. And you can go through the rest of the things and mark them, click on save and go back. Now the next is pool and spa facilities. I won't even go in there because none of these things are at my property. Sustainability, you can click on that. And if there is anything like you have LED light bulbs, energy saving switches, things like that, you can mark all of them here. If you have any garden space, this is where you can mark them. Living plant wall, if you have any waste management or recycling thing, you can choose that. And once all done, click on save and then go back. And then we will click on office option. This is where you can mark desk and a desk chair. I have these two things at the property, and I will click on save and go back. And then it is outdoor features. This is where you can mention all the things you have outdoors, like if you have a balcony or a deck or a patio, and if you have a fire pit, furniture outside, outdoor playing area, and if you have any bicycles, boats, kayaks, things like that. And I will click on save after that and scroll up and click on back. And then you scroll further down, you have on-site services like breakfast or housekeeping. In my case, none of these things apply. Additional info, this is where you can mention anything else which has not been covered by their standard list of amenities. You can mention all those things here. So I mentioned all the things which I have additional in the property. Click on save and go back. So this was all about updating and adding details to your property. And next we will go into calendar option here on the left hand side. And once that is open, click on the settings icon here at the top and click on base rates and discount. That will lead you to another entire menu where you can add a lot more details about your property. If you remember, we had set this base rate. So here it is again, if you want to change it. Now, if you want to offer a weekly discount or a monthly discount, this is where you can mention those things and click on save. And we will go to the next option, which is promotions. And here you can create any promotions if you want to run for, like an early booker discount or a last minute discount or mobile only and member only details and things like that. I won't set up all these things. I will go into booking requirements, which is the third tab. And here you will see minimum 2 nights. We will go into the next one, which is booking window. Again, you will see 9 months and 1 day. We have seen all these settings in the first step. And then click on fee. This is where you can change the cleaning fee and add a pet fee if you do decide to have these things later on. And lastly, there is this option to charge extra for per guest after a certain amount. So let's say if you want to charge $100 after 5 guests, you will set this to 5 and you will mention $100 here. After that, VRBO will automatically start charging as per the guest count the traveler enters. We will click on taxes now. This is where you will see the taxes. I will choose no tax collection, but if it is different in your case, you can choose the second option. And then I will go into damage protection option. This is where you can mark a damage deposit. It is a good idea to charge something rather than having no damage deposit set. So I will set $250, which is going to be held by VRBO until I report a damage. And lastly, you will see payment terms here. This is something, you can decide whether you really want to do this. It is just to make it easier for people to book. So if you choose 2 here, that means they will have to pay 2 installments. First installment is going to be for 25%, and then they will have to pay within 14 days, 75% of the remaining amount. I generally go for first because the way VRBO works is pretty weird. I've had a guest who had paid 25% upfront at the time of booking, and they never paid this 75% later on. And VRBO didn't stop that booking. They let the guest stay, and they were sending me emails asking me to chase the guest to pay them 75%. It just complicates things. So keep it simple would be my advice, and keep it to 1 and click on save. So these are all the pricing settings done. Now we will click on property again and then click on rules and policies option here. Now this is where you can change the cancellation policy of your property. Your cancellation is by default set to 14 days. But if you want to change it, click on this edit option here and you can change to moderate 30 days or a firm 60 days and the other option. I always tend to keep mine to 14 days, which is strict enough as compared to other platforms like Airbnb. And if you want to add a seasonal policy, you can do so in VRBO, and it can come very handy, especially in busy period. So for example, if summer is your busiest period, you can enter those months and choose a stricter policy just for those months. And outside that, this is going to be the cancellation policy that will apply. And next, click on check-in and check-out time. We have set these things in the first step, but in case you want to change these things later, I'm taking you through all these screens. And then click on house rules. Under house rules, the first option is the checkout instructions. So if you want to add any checkout instructions which you want the guest to follow before they leave the property, you can click like load the dishwasher, strip any used beds, store extra beds, gather used towels, remove personal items, remove leftover food and drinks, take out the trash, turn off the lights, lock the doors, return the keys. Simple as that. And once done, click on save and then click on go back. And down below, you will see the same settings like maximum number of overnight guests, you allow events, you allow pets, things like that. So if at any point you want to change any of these settings, you can come back into this section. And lastly, you will have a rental agreement. Now this is where you can upload any custom rental agreement. If you have, you will just click on this upload a rental agreement, and that will be accepted by default when they make a reservation on your property. And lastly, it is the booking type option. Now this is very important. You might want to change it later on. If you don't want to have instant booking on, you can click on this 24-hour review. That means everyone has to send you a booking request and you can either accept or deny that booking. Or if you want to just keep instant booking on, which means anyone can book your property without having to waiting for your approval, you can just keep instant booking on and click on save. So these are all the settings you have to worry about for your listing. And lastly, I want to show you where you can enter or change your bank details. For that, you need to click on property again on the left-hand side and then click on payment options. This is the screen where you can enter your payment details. You will just need to click on this add bank details here on the right-hand side, and that will open up the bank details page. You can choose the country and enter your bank details. I won't be able to show you the bank setup because of privacy reasons, but it is pretty simple. They will simply ask for your bank details and probably your address as well. And that should be all the setup you need to do for your property to go live. Now, if you want to make sure your property is live and if you're curious how your property looks like and what is its link, for that, you need to click on dashboard here once again at the top left, and then click on your property again, and then click on property option on the left hand side and click on property details. This is where you will see your property link when it is active. At the moment, you can see its listing status is hidden. That means my property is not yet active. But when it does become active, you will see this shows as active and you will see the link here. The same way you can click on this Expedia distribution link because VRBO is part of Expedia group. Your property gets listed on Expedia and 40 other smaller platforms which they own. Once your property is live and you click on this link here, it will show you how your property looks on Expedia as well. So at this point, probably they're asking for some more details. So I will click on this review status. But if everything was fine, which is generally the case, you will just see active here and you will see the property link here. So in my case, there is a problem. So let me see what is going on here. So I will click on review status and they're asking me to contact them. So I will stop recording this video here. It shouldn't be the case, but if it does happen, you can just follow the steps after this. But this is all you have to do. And I can guarantee if you follow the steps I have shown in this video, you can be assured that all the setups you had to do for your property have been done. Now you can go into all these other areas which they have defined. Most of them I find pretty useless, but it is still worthwhile going through them once to see whether there is something you would like to use when hosting. I'm aware of the time, so I would rather keep this video short. I really hope you find this video useful. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and happy hosting on VRBO. Until next time, bye-bye.